Hi, this is Ethan Horn, owner of Godly Dragon Reviews and Apologetics, which is a branch of Godly Dragon Ministries. I decided that I wanted to start making deeper commentary every once in a while on films that I've already reviewed if I feel like there's things I missed in my reviews that I feel like going over. So these videos will be commentaries on my further and more deeper thoughts on these movies, unlike in the original movie reviews where I got straight to the point. The first secular movie I reviewed for this channel was the movie Jurassic World. Jurassic World was my favorite secular movie of 2015. I saw it 4 times in the movie theater because I was really entertained by it. I love dinosaurs and I just thought it was so cool. But in my original review, I did point out some things about the film that I found concerning. I will talk about those again, while also adding in new things that I missed. I was inexperienced in movie reviews when I wrote my Jurassic World review back in January. This commentary will not replace my original Jurassic World review, but instead add to it. What I had talked about before is that this is a movie that may not be good for little kids. It is a PG-13 movie for a reason. One reason is that there are several uses of foul language. It's not excessive, but it's still there, along with the Lord's name being taken in vain a few times. As we know, we need to make sure we don't go around repeating those foul words, or worse, blaspheme God by taking His name in vain. And I think they will know not to use those words by the time they're teenagers if you raise them to be godly, rather than when they're little kids. And the action and all the violence is really intense and can be scary, especially for little ones. People being eaten and attacked by dinosaurs, dinosaurs fighting each other. Pretty tense. Too much for a little kid to handle if you ask me. So I'd say this film is more for an older, mature audience. This is negative stuff I've touched on in my original Jurassic World review. But what are the good things about this movie? Well, there are a couple of morals we can learn from this movie. One of the themes of this movie is in fact quality time with family. Claire is often too preoccupied with her job to spend time with her nephews, and she always makes excuses for not spending time with them. So what we can learn from this is to never put your job above your family. Family must always come first, and you can't let your job become your idol, let alone anything else that's keeping you from your family, or worse, from God. One more thing we can also learn from this movie is to not play God and mess with nature, because that has very serious consequences. When you are trying to reinvigorate the public's interest with a brand new powerful dinosaur, things could go wrong, and that's exactly what happens in this movie. And just how were they going to make something even better and then keep it under control? They couldn't keep their new dinosaur, the Indominus Rex, under control at all, and the consequences are devastating. Now there's one last thing that I want to talk about before I conclude this commentary. I mentioned before in my original Jurassic World review that this movie contains the theory of evolution. What I am going to get out of the way once more is that I believe in biblical creationism. I believe that the heavens and the earth were created in 6 literal 24-hour days only a little over 6,000 years ago. I interpret Genesis very literally because I firmly believe that's how it should be interpreted. If you've got some other views such as old earth creationism or theistic evolution, then you will not hear any of that here. You are entitled to your opinions, but my ministry teaches a younger view of creation. My original Jurassic World review was therefore made under the assumption that the Christians watching the video are young earth creationists like myself. I said in my original review that you should make sure your kids are firm in God's truth of creation before they see this movie so that they don't get swayed in an opposite direction. But then I realized that there was something else that I forgot. This movie was actually slammed by evolutionists for not being accurate to evolution at all. This movie goes against evolution by not having any feathered dinosaurs in the movie and purposely ignores any new theories that were proposed by evolutionists. It's very ironic. I mean, the way I see it, this movie is science fiction. and it is called science fiction for a reason. It is not called science fact. And I think creationists like myself can enjoy this movie if they are mature enough to separate fiction from God's truth. Evolutionists, on the other hand, would rather continue to slam this movie just because they didn't see their own theories portrayed accurately. They are more picky than we as creationists are when it comes to movies about evolution. So while this movie does contain evolution, it could be a whole lot worse. Now for my concluding thoughts on this film. Overall, I think this film is an enjoyable monster flick made for a more mature audience that can handle intense sequences and themes, have self-control when it comes to bad language, and isn't so easily swayed by the world, and are able to stay planted in God's Word. This movie does have a few good morals about family and nature, and I do like how this movie broke the mainstream by doing its own thing instead of succumbing to modern evolutionary theories. It's fun, it's exciting, and it teaches good lessons, and even challenges whatever worldview you may have, so that you will be tested on staying firm in your worldview if you're a creationist, or have your worldview swayed if you're an evolutionist. I think this is a movie that will leave audiences asking many thought-provoking questions afterwards. I hope you enjoyed listening to this commentary, and I hope you found it a lot more helpful than my original review was. God bless everyone. Godly Dragon Reviews and Apologetics is a branch of Godly Dragon Ministries.